And welcome to Today in the News on Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with anger as petrol hits 568 naira per litre in Lagos, 670 naira in Abuja. Others. Rider says the motorist commuters grow nationwide. Market forces driving up petrol prices, says NMPCL. CEO Kiari adds no shortfall in petrol supply. NMDPRA blames rising crude prices on freight cost. Ipman worries over fresh rise in price. NLC rejects new pump price, says it's provocative. Adds situation will worsen poverty, hardship in Nigeria. Local refining are only way out. That's coming from NECA. And we can see a photo story showing three presidents visit Tinubu. Stories above, court ask EcoBank to pay Honeywell 72.2 billion naira damages. Exchange rate foreign scholarship to be suspended for 2 years. That's coming from TETFUND. Reps to security agencies stop setting vessels with stolen crude oil on fire. And on page 19, oil exploration. Nigeria's rig count rises 27.7% to 14, and that's coming from a report. Stories below. Subsidy removal. Tinubu orders review of proposed 8,000 naira cash transfer. Plans to unveil federal government's palliative package. Anthrax, stop eating meat from sick animals. NCDC warns Nigerians. And lastly, on the front page of Vanguard on page 31, sports, West Ham, Everton fight for Iheanacho. All right, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with NLC TUC lambast Tinubu as fuel hits 630 naira per litre, shuns negotiation. Rider says Labour kicks against 8,000 naira palliative, says Tinubu deviated from making Nigeria better. NNPCL defends a new pump price, filling station shuts, queues resurface in Abuja, Lagos. We can see a photo story of those queues in Abuja and Lagos. Military threatening to demolish 5,000 houses. Ogun communities tell assembly. You can see that on page 10. On page 8, troops kill two IPOB fighters, arrest 5 in Delta. Stories above. Tinubu backtracks, reviews of proposed 8,000 naira cash palliatives. Sustained air attack on terrorists, commander tells the troops. Lastly, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, North Central, Southwest ex-governors may replace Adamu Omishore. All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with Tinubu orders release of grains to 50 million farmers. Others, President directs a review of 8,000 naira cash transfer to poor households. We have on page 5, market forces driving prices or price of petrol, says Kiari. Rider says NNPCL price of petrol will go up and down as prevailing situation dictates. Stories above, Senate House to probe NNPCL, NDDC, others, many allegations in focus. On page 7, we have CBN axes 2,698 BDCs. Heat wave threatens life in US, Europe. And lastly, on the front page of the Nation, MPA targets 500 billion naira revenue. And that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us still today in the news on Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the paper is Mr. Gbenro Olajigbe, Executive Director of Emergency and Risk Alert. It's good to have you join me this morning, Mr. Gbenro.
It's a pleasure being with you. All right, Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's delve in and talk about Nigerians woke up to yet another steep increase in the price of petrol. What are your thoughts on the increment?
Well, for the uptake time, I have said it. There is no relief price anywhere. I get better because Nigeria is not in control of the price of fuel that you import. The moment the crude oil leaves the shore of Nigeria, it's no longer within your jurisdiction in terms of controlling the price. You have no control over the price of what you are importing. And critical and important thing like petrol should not ordinarily be imported to Nigeria because we have the crude oil. Our responsibility, I've been saying this, is to refine it. And if you see the damage this thing has caused, Nobody, no Nigerians has right to rejoice that there is a better or brighter future anywhere because you are paying for, because I've been hearing people saying no pain, no gain. There will never be gain on this importation. What happened is that the subsidy, assuming that there is what you call subsidy, the question Nigeria should ask is this. Tinubu said it's a scam, and that is why he's cancelling it, like others. Okay, where are the scammers? What has happened to these scammers? Have they been arrested? Have they been prosecuted? In the first place, should we be importing? That is the debate. That is what a president is elected to do, not to further hardship of the country. How do you relieve you will look at the sources of people's pain. How do you take it out? One, you are importing what you should not be importing. Petrol, that is fuel, that you have now. Now that you are importing it, why are you importing fuel? The reason is simple. It's because of the failure of governance who allow our refineries to be destroyed over the years. And what should be the remedy? The remedy is to build refineries and refine our petroleum. I've said it. There is no courage in removing subsidy. The real courage is when you know the damage this thing has caused to the economy and you decide to commence refining your oil in Nigeria. That is the real courage. Nobody should be praised for removing subsidy. Secondly, do you know what subsidy has done to Nigeria economy? Let me tell you, and I've just written about it today. What subsidy has done is to weaken our nairas because we need foreign currency to import. So it's a major contributory to the naira devaluation. Secondly, by importing fuel, you are strengthening other people's economies, the countries where you are importing from, who are not even better for you in terms of production of oil. You are strengthening the economy while you are weakening your own. Thirdly, you are exporting the job your own people should be doing. Look at the unemployment, the rate of unemployment in Nigeria today. Now, instead of having refinery that we accommodate most of the people in labor market, you are giving the job out to those who have their own. Most of this, astonishingly, most of these countries where you import from, they don't have oil. They are not oil producing, at least recognized by OPEC. Nigeria is oil producing, oil exporting, but you are exporting fuel. That is the antithesis of our economy. So what we are looking at obnoxious policy of Tinubu administration. One, it gaslighted the poor and the public by not acknowledging that the failure is from government, who should now pay. They are the one that should actually pay what you call, they should be one making sacrifice and not the ordinary Nigerians who are mere victim of wrong policy of government, thoughtless government, indeed. So it's not the people, you have no right to unleash this pain on the people. And secondly, you are giving the poor 8,000 naira. For what? To move from Ikeja to VI or where?
No, all right, Mr.
No, even so you have a lot of things to talk of. As long as we continue to import, there is no rep anywhere. Don't build your hope on this government that you will gain what you are making sacrifice for. You are just the sacrificial lamb. You are not making sacrifice for a better future. You are making sacrifice for sustaining the economy of other countries, other people, strengthening the employment in other countries, and not in Nigeria. That is the sacrifice you are making. So not be deceived. Let nobody manipulate you to believe that is in your own interest. When they started this chaotic policy, they said that it's going to affect the rich and not the poor. Didn't I tell them that is the poor that will bear the burden? Because the poor is the fall man when it comes to reckless policy, obnoxious policy like this.
All right, Mr. Gwenro. I mean, it's crystal clear that the living standard of people would nosedive as a result of what's been happening, and yet we've not seen any form of intervention in place. Even the 8,000 naira palliative is still words of mouth. We've not seen any disbursement so far. People are asking that the president should really work on our refineries, and the question is, this has been, the line of thought since a long time coming, but we don't know why the president is not looking at working on our refinery. Why exactly is it not being looked into?
It's not in his own interest. That's why I asked that if it's in interest, where are the scammers? Where are the people committing this economic crime that you talk about, that they are the one ripping off Nigeria? Where are they? Have they been prosecuted? And in a way, have you asked yourself where Mele Kyari is still the MD of NNPC? This is somebody that will borrow money to make to do turnaround under his regime, under his leadership or at NNPC, and that has not been done up till now. We borrow money, $1.5 billion, given for them for turnaround maintenance, and nothing has been done, and he's still the MD. He has the audacity to come to Nigeria to make sacrifice. He has the audacity to be telling Nigeria that there is the market forces. What is the market forces? Do you talk of market forces when you are not producing what you should be producing? Market forces have meaning. Nigeria will accept that market forces if one refinery in Nigeria one refinery in Nigeria is competing with another refinery in Nigeria, not by importing what you don't have control over. Not what they call market forces is absolute degeneration of the intrinsic value of naira that is not competitively engaging with other foreign currency, particularly dollars. That is what they call market forces. When your economy has destroyed the value of naira, economic policy has destroyed the value of naira, is that what you call market forces? Is that how they interpret market forces? The definition of market forces in this country, in this context, is when you have 3 or 4 refineries in Nigeria and they are given to petrol stations and the prices varies. We will know that we are talking of market forces, not a globalized market forces that will never be under your control, under the influence of demands and supply. So we are not talking of, it's not being influenced by demand and supply. The price is being determined externally, not by the forces of demand and supply, which is the economic definition of what you call market forces.
All right, let's touch on the 8,000 naira palliative. Of course, it's in the news this morning that the president has asked that there should be a review of the proposed 8,000 naira palliative. But then again, the question is also, how can we ensure that this palliative that is aimed to cushion the subsidy remover, it's not marred by corruption and mismanagement? Because in time past, this is how we've seen situations like this pan out.
They are talking of masses. They are talking of masses. Are they talking of stopping, totally stopping the 110 billion allocated to the National Assembly? That is the issue. This is the waste that is crippling Nigeria economy. So Nigeria have no hope anywhere if the leaders don't make sacrifice, or the rulers. Sorry to call them leaders. If they don't make sacrifice, there's no respite for anybody in Nigeria until we begin to see that sacrifice. That's why we say that, okay, we are in it together, assuming that it's even right to import. Even with the economic degeneration, with the paucity of naira, with the devaluation of naira value, can you imagine that Nigeria will elect a group of people who, less than 500 people, who want to take over 10% of resources that is meant for over 200 million Nigerians? How will economy work on that type of situation? That you want to buy cars, do they buy car for teachers? How do these people these are people that are supposed to know what is right. If you employ teacher, do you buy car for them? Many parliamentarians in the United States has no car. They don't have car. Many parliamentarians there, they don't. The prime minister elsewhere work on foot. If they are at home, it's close to their office. They don't put burdens on government. Nigeria has no right to buy car for any worker, except essential workers like doctors, those in ambulance services and all those types of things. Are they not earning salary? These are people under normal circumstances that should be making sacrifice. Most of the congressmen in United States, they sleep in their offices. They could not even rent house. Here, you will want government to come and rent house for you. For doing what? And to think of it, that these are the people that colluded with Buhari to recklessly borrow Nigeria, to engage in reckless borrowing that diminish our currency. So what service are they rendering? Do you buy, even doctors, privately on their own, do you buy car for them? Because they're working. In fact, the works of a doctor is better than what they do in National Assembly. The work of average farmer in Nigeria, in fact, Jonathan Swift have even said that is better than what, if you put all these so-called parliamentarians together. A single farmer had more value to Nigeria economy than they do. They are just discussed it, have written about it as far as 2016. What we have is pests who feed on the economy of the country, who had no value to it, but consume the largest chunk of the revenue of Nigeria.
Yeah, speaking about it.
Palliative should not be mentioned in the committee of a serious nation. That is what we have responded to emergency in the last 2.5 decades. Palliatives is what you go and give in IDP camp because of their temporary displacement, because of the fact that they need something and you want to bring them back on their feet. No palliative can bring any Nigeria on its feet within the context of this obnoxious policy. Nigerians don't need palliative. What we need is a development, people-centered development agenda that will stop importation of fuel in the near. Do you know that some people have modular refineries? Some people have completed their own without. Why they are focusing on the illusionary Dangote refinery? So these are the type of people they throw Nigerian money into their thing, make them rich without work, without effort. They become billionaire and richest in the world without effort. These are the people Nigeria economy and Nigeria governmental policies resourcing, funding, empowering to the detriment of the ordinary Nigerians who are helplessly poor and they are victims of misrule, misgovernance, and wrong policies.
All right, Mr. Agbero, still on what you've been talking about, in all this, we haven't seen, the lawmakers even come out to say that they want to make sacrifices themselves. But it just seems like the sacrifice is on the Nigerian people. I'd like you to elaborate more on that.
Who are the member of the National Assembly? Who is the chairman of the National Assembly currently? It's the president of Senate. What is his antecedent? He was allegedly to have stolen money by EFCC when he left government office in Akwa Ibom. He served as a minister before his election. Power-led EFCC is investigating him for 40 billion naira. These are people who have no legacy of decency and service to Nigeria. Sorry to say, but that is the reality. And that is what EFCC have said about them. So I'm not making it up on my head. From my head, somebody that should be facing corruption charges, you want him to have heart for other Nigerians when they have freed Nigerians, when they are the actual contributors to this declining economy. Do you think these people are blood flow in the vein of these people? That they should even have a country, and none of them, whether in Labour Party, from PDP, from APC, or other minor party, could raise opposition to this, that we should make sacrifice for this poor Nigeria, given what they have gone through, excruciating pain, 8 years pain under Buhari, and you still want to afflict them again for sins that they didn't commit, for economic crime they didn't take part in? Haba. That is the tragedy of, they don't go there to represent anybody. I've said it, they are not adding value to the economy, they are not adding value. At least if we must even have democracy, must we have 2 houses? Why not camera so that we will know that we are just throwing the money we paid to them away. I'm talking of their salary. What they are collecting this money now, they call palliative, whether it is named under constituency allowance, under support for anything, is illegal, is immoral. So it doesn't make sense in an economy like this, where people are dying. Economy last Bureau of Statistics has put inflation rate at 22, about 23% now. Inflation rate in Nigeria. Employment rate is climbing over 40. Children are coming out of school and they are not getting job. Papa, assuming that even what they call constituency allowance and everything, and what they want to get now is you focus it on diminishing or depleting the labor market for these young people that are outside without job. Is it not better? That is what leaders do. Scammers can't do what leaders do.
All right. So, what is our way out of this quagmire now?
The way out, particularly the petroleum situation now, is for us. One, Dangote is not the owner of that refinery. He commissioned it in May. That refinery will work. This is somebody that has been supported when dollar was 700. It was buying from central bank less than 400 naira. So Nigeria has contribution in this. We should ask him, when are you going to produce and start producing this thing so that we can stop importation? It's Nigerian property. Part of it is Nigerian property, not wholly its own. Right? The reason of what the central bank, the support given to them that we did not approve as a people by central bank. And secondly, those that government has given modular refinery, do you know that some of them are ready now? But the guideline for production, the guideline that and the support they still need from government has not been offered to them. And secondly, I told you that we borrow for turnaround maintenance. Do you know that the plan was in the first quarter of this year that at least 2 of the 3 refinery, Nigeria refinery will be producing? Who is asking Abakiyari, Mele Kiyari, why are they not producing? What is the output of our input? What we have invested in it, borrowed money. So where is the result? That's the question Tinubu should be asking, or EFCC or DSS should be asking Mele Kiyari, and not him sitting down now as the group managing director of NNPC. That is what makes country grow. A country that is serious, a country whose leadership is disciplined, whose leadership is focused, whose leadership is knowledgeable, whose leadership has defined the boundary of what constitutes crime and criminalities. So we have not done that, and we can't solve any problem with this trajectory we are following by thinking that poor people should fasten their bet. We did it under Buhari. Nobody has the right or audacity. In fact, it's even cruel and wicked to say that the same people who went through excruciating pain under Buhari should be making sacrifice for leaders that has failed in their job, that has failed in their responsibility, and that have despised economic wisdom and knowledge in pushing forward workable policy that will make Nigerians to live well. Let us not forget, it is clear, Chapter 2 of Nigerian Constitution, Section 14, made it clear. The primary purpose of a government is the welfare. Please underline that, welfare of their people, of the people, and their security. So we are not secure. Our welfare is not prioritized. You are asking people to endure pain. The government is not built, it's not put in place to enforce pain on the people, but to promote the happiness of the largest majority. All right, that is the purpose of government.
All right, let's touch on this one before we go. Now, according to TETFUND, they dropped the hint of a planned suspension of a foreign scholarship for 2 years due to, high exchange rate. And they also said that the federal government is owing them about 323 billion naira. How do you react to this information?
Well, I don't want to react to most of these people who are just hiding under government for them to be reappointed. Or for personally, I know the head of TETFUND now. He was in the ministry, permanent secretary in education before Ishosho. But I don't think he's very serious when he talk. And one thing that we should know is that if do we even assess those going for scholarship? Even in the federal scholarship board, where children of the poor and everything should equally be promoted, do they give it to the children of the poor? Is it not their own children and everything? So if they stop it, what does it mean to Nigeria? If they don't stop it, one, you can't stop knowledge. Develop your education system. Make your own education system and structure functional for Nigeria. If we have best of education, functional education in Nigeria, we will not be here today talking of petroleum, talking of where. We will have developed knowledge-led economy. But are we even supporting the young people that are coming out with bright idea, bright result, and bright endowment? Do we support the innovation? So what is it talking about? Scholarship for who in the first place? Scholarship that they distribute among their own children, among the workers who don't even deserve it. They are just wasting. It's part of the wastage of Nigerian money. So it's not making. He want us to clap for him or what? Can he even come out and tell what TETFUND has done in terms of the people they are awarding their scholarship on and everything? If you develop our own institution, people can go for their, even if it is lecturers and everything, they can go for sabbatical in Nigeria. They can go to any other university in Nigeria or around or within Africa that are cost effective. But everyone want to go to Europe, pay in pounds and dollars and everything for scholarship, and you give it among those that you just want to favor. So that is not to those who don't know this character and people, they think it's talking something that is laudable. It's not about scholarship. No Nigerians. For example, if you develop health system, will Nigeria be going out to seek for medical aid, medical salvation, including the president, the former and the new, looking for seeking for medical this thing, and that flow from decimation of our educational system. We produce good doctors, but what of the environment where they work?
All right, Mr. Agbero, let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. before we go. And Mrs. is speaking this one. Says, I labored every day to prepare your favorite meals, only for you to come home late and abandon the food. You are now offering me money. It's annoying and painful. And Mr. replies and says, I know, that's why I'm offering you a painkiller.
No, it's not an excuse. We should appreciate what the women are going through,
True.
the sacrifice they make for home and everything. That is the most important thing. There is no painkiller when you have made somebody deliberately go. She has gone through anguish and pain, making preparation, thinking that there is a lover, there is somebody that they deserve to live together, eat together, pray together, and you are shattering social. That is the way just Nigerian ruler shatters our own. So I don't think it's fair to the woman. Family should be, when you face this type of trouble outside, when there is external troubles and everything, home should be like our asylum.
Yeah.
So we should be rushing. No, Nigeria has the right to wait outside till later 1 hour before getting home. Because this is the real time we need ourselves as family to pass through this stress together.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Agbero. That's Mr. Agbero, Emergency and Risk Alert. He's the director. Thank you so much for sharing your thought with us this morning.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
Also, remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. To find out today's stories, go to our website, www.vanguardngr.com, to find out more. I am Precious Chukuli, and thank you for watching.